Welcome back, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans right here on the YouTube and the Twitch and wherever you get your podcast audio worldwide, baby. We got Masha and Bill joining us tonight. How's the gang doing?
Doing well. Warm and cozy.
Okay, Mr. Bone.
Alicia, we were talking right before we went live. Glad you got your power back.
Me too.
Did they hit the time? Did you get it at 11 p.m. last night?
No, we got it sooner than that. Thank goodness.
Oh.
Yeah, it was cold. It's like the first night, not so bad because the heat kind of retained in the apartment. Yeah. But after 24 hours, that was a no-go.
Well, we have a little feedback from one of our favorites.
I don't know whether to say congratulations or I'm sorry.
Well,
good old Bravo. Good old Bravo.
Who we got to see. One of my favorite segments returned tonight, J-Bone. On the Street with Dango.
Is that who that was?
Outside the make 'em auction.
He couldn't even pronounce the names of the wrestlers correctly.
I'm a big fan of Will Ostrich.
Ostrich.
It's Billy Goat Bird.
Yeah.
And
ultimate respect.
Mike William Alexander, or what is that what he said? Seriously?
He knows his comedians.
Dear God. All right. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining the live chat tonight. We are live after every Impact episode Thursday night, usually about a half an hour following the show. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications if you're digging the content. Let's get some housekeeping out of the way first. We want to thank our sponsor, as always, Manscaped.
It's trimming season.
It is. Depending on where you are, it might be getting a little warmer out, so it might be time to, put some shorts on, or even some shorty shorts on. Folks, you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code TNI. That's code TNI. Yeah, at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Hey, you could make yourself look like J-Bone by Elegance right there.
Wait, what? I'd have to.
Oh, we need his Iceman to remind us how attractive you are.
I would have to do a lot of manscaping to.
Yeah. We need more Iceman to promote you there. But thank you, Rayline, for the bits. Team Twitch in the house.
Yes, holding down Team Twitch. Thank you very much. T Hughes over there as well. You can always cheer bits. You can sub over there on YouTube. You can, like I said, smash that like button, and tips are always open, along with the new memberships. New content is going to be coming soon. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that. Those of you who are membership members, get those emotes in the chat, if you will, if anyone's here.
Do we have any new members, J-Bone? Can you tell? Because
no, I don't believe. I'll double check, but I don't believe so.
Because I'm not sure. I'm just looking, and I see like Eli is standing out with his. So I'm not sure if that means he's a member. I don't know if he was already a member or not. But
he is.
Wasn't sure if he was a new member.
Yeah, Eli, Terrence Sullivan, Keith, and Justin Miller.
So I think Eli's a new member from last week. So Thank you, Eli.
No, it was
4? All right.
it was a few weeks ago.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. As well as Justin.
Thank you everyone who is here. Get those emotes in the chat. And we'll get started with some stuff. We'll start out with a little bit of news.
Ooh, yeah, that's that time of the show.
Jiminy Christmas.
And now, J-Bones. Searching for my fake wrestling news.
Well, let's see here. I want to do some updates to the card for No Surrender. What's interesting, if you go to the events page on TNAWrestling.com, on the countdown segment, you've got Tom Hannafin, Matt Raywald, and Gia Miller on the promotional.
Good stuff.
Which is pretty cool. You know, it's not just the No Surrender countdown, whatever. So
Explosion and Impact are colliding on the preview.
Yeah.
I would play a Gia Miller bite, but I think we don't use that Gia Miller bite.
No, it's
offensive. Yeah, no, it's offensive.
But that's the only picture we have.
It's
not. I can mute it.
Wait, we got to come up with another.
Well, it's a little too early in the show, too.
Yeah. How excited are we? So okay, no.
I had Arby's.
All right, we got. Let's see here. The Knockouts titles, tag titles, excuse me, are going to be on the line. We've got Decay versus MK Ultra. That has been made official. Can't wait to see that rematch.
Ooh.
We've got PCO versus Khan. I feel like that needs a stipulation, but honestly, if these guys just beat the shit out of each other everywhere, that's all I want.
Just big, meaty men slapping meat.
Two monsters.
What more could a guy ask for?
Well, we got to talk about later. We got a PCO promo tonight. You don't get those often.
Yeah.
Is it a promo? Is it really?
Or PCO is a promo.
I suppose so. He's a monster, so I suppose you know.
This might be bigger news than anything, J-Bone. Justin Miller saw Trent. He exists last Saturday night at Dreamwave. Albeit brief, it was good seeing him.
Nice.
Because I thought the only glimpse of Trent we got was this.
Disco fever, disco fever, disco fever. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Feels like so long ago.
Man, boy needs a haircut. Also new to the card, very excited about this one. Simon Gotch versus Josh Alexander. You know, I'll admit I haven't seen Simon Gotch wrestle in quite a long time, but I'm excited for this one. I always liked him as a wrestler.
Yeah, and you see in the sound check tonight, there's a story here. He's going to finish his story.
He's got. Oh man, we're just finishing stories across company formats, aren't we?
It's that time of year.
It is. Everyone wants to finish their story.
Finish the story and start the next chapter.
There we go.
Or the next book.
Next book. Turn the page. Best of 3 series. Finals are going to be at No Surrender for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. ABC defending against the Grizzled Young Vets. We'll talk about that match that happened tonight a little later, but they are all evened up now. So the final one's going to be at No Surrender. And they're going to tear the house down. I'm stoked
Yeah.
about that one.
That's nice.
Mustafa Ali is going to also be debuting at No Surrender. Very excited about that.
Does he got your vote, J-Bone?
You know what? I am impressed. I'm a little on the fence, but
You're one of
I
those
like-
last minute voters. You're an undecided voter.
I am. I'm going to have to go to
Typical.
the websites, the campaign websites, and I'm going to have to just weigh out all the facts. You know, the facts. How about
wanna
you?
know where he
Alicia?
stands on lollipops?
Does someone have your vote?
For what? Is that an indication that no? Not yet?
Not for X Division champion.
She's
Mustafa Ali.
she is clearly still on the fence.
I'm a wait and see kind of gal. I'm just going to have to wait and see.
All right. But Mustafa Ali is going after Chris Sabin's X Division Championship at No Surrender. The Knockouts World Championship is going to be on the line. Jordynne Grace defending against Gisele Shaw. And, well, from what it looks of it, Gisele Shaw may be alone with no one in her corner at this event.
Strange time to dismember your Shaw entourage. I'm just saying.
Shawterage.
It is.
Unless it's like a swerve. Lure Jordynne into a false sense of security, and then bam, there's Jay, there's Savannah.
Could be. Or maybe she's putting together a new Shawterage that we don't even know about.
Oh,
Cool.
the night is young.
Yes. Last but certainly not least on the card for No Surrender for February 23rd, a week and a day away, Moose defending his TNA World Championship. No Surrender rules against Alex Shelley.
Love the no surrender rules, J-Bone.
I do.
Do you want to explain these rules?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's kind of like a Russo thing where you got flags all over the place. And no, I'm kidding. I had to. I'm sorry.
Jay.
So can I just say what I've come to understand and correct me if I'm wrong?
Absolutely.
Is that it's wrestle until someone on your team throws in the towel for you?
Yeah. They're like, they can't take no more. Throw in the towel.
That is a tall glass of water.
Yeah, it's kind of like Last Man Standing, only you got people.
Someone makes the choice for you. And I feel like no matter who makes that choice to throw the towel in, you're going to have a bad time with whoever you threw that towel in for.
It's Rocky IV.
It's like,
if he dies, he dies.
yes, thank you.
If someone doesn't
So-
cut a promo, Rocky IV style, I'm going to be so upset.
I've never seen the Rocky movies.
Oh, you got it. At least.
I'm
seen the gifs.
joking.
Oh, okay.
I am joking. I have seen them, whether it was years ago, but I have
Throw the
seen
damn
all the
towel.
Rocky movies. But I'm just saying, some people haven't seen the Rocky movies.
There are a few, because there's people that haven't seen E.T. So there's people that haven't seen Rocky, I'm sure.
Haven't seen E.T.
Did you
What
watch
kind of
it?
monster?
Who's that?
Who knows? Could be anybody.
Oh, okay. I see. So yeah, very excited about that one. And I'm a little surprised. We don't have a match yet. Now, granted, we do have one more week. So we got plenty of time to throw in any last minute matches, but I'm a little surprised we don't have a match for Nick Nemeth.
They're
I feel
gonna
like
keep us waiting on the edge of our seats.
That's
that'll be next week. It's building. It's building. I think you can read some tea leaves and get an idea on what that match is.
Ooh.
Oh, the tea leaves.
A little divination, huh?
We'll get that later in this episode. I think I follow your drift there. What else do we want to talk about as far as news?
Well, you are the news guy.
There are a few pieces.
I know.
Lots of rumblings.
Rumblings? Are you talking about as far as like a former president, or are you talking about something else?
There's that, and then there's also there were a story put out there that I'm kind of disagreeing with, but about the Rebellion site. There was a different initial place for Rebellion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I saw this headline. Yeah, that Rebellion originally was they were going to do this at what's it called?
The Hammerstein Ballroom.
Hammerstein Ballroom, thank you.
Really?
That would have been pretty cool.
And supposedly it's discussed for maybe later in the year. And that's kind of what I was hearing, potentially maybe at some point. But Rebellion seems like that would have been soon, like more advanced notice of that. So maybe it was discussed briefly, but I don't think it was ever the intended. I think that's a little misleading. But that's obviously they've never played the Hammerstein Ballroom. They played the Manhattan Center upstairs, the Grand Ballroom, where like Monday Night Raw started. Much different size, like much bigger is the ballroom. So,
not a fan of New York shows, New York City shows. I should correct.
Well, when they started with the Destination America tapings there, like they did some good shows out of there. And remember, most of those were like they started like midweek. Like that's when they weren't doing a lot of weekend shows. I think they ran into like a Friday. But some of those were like midweek shows, and they would get pretty good crowds. Now, once again, that's the ballroom upstairs. But yeah, TUs, that's the whole issue. It is renowned for being expensive, that venue, for in New York City. I know at least during these early months into the beginning of the summer, they have reduced their rates a little bit. I think they know they're not booking as many acts due to that. So I think the rate, once again, a discount is still probably more than most people want to spend. There's a reason not many people play that venue anymore, but it is a good wrestling venue. I feel. So if they do play it, either location at that, and once again, it's right off of like public transit. Like you can get right off at Penn Station and walk there. It's like 3 blocks. So it is a very convenient location. And they've done all these shows outside of New York City with Albany and Rochester. Well, did they go Rochester? No. White Plains and all kinds of places, but not in the city for years. So it'd be a good place to go.
There you go.
But I think that leads us into all the what people are waiting for, probably, J-Bone.
Well, here's
the weekly news on a certain topic.
Here's I gotta give this update. This is thanks to Eli in the chat. Says Nick Nemeth will be wrestling for New Japan the same day of No Surrender for the global championship against David Finlay.
Well, there's your answer.
So what we may see is
the
next tapings, possibly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I find it hard to believe if he's not at a live show, he's not at the tapings. Like that's almost got to be part of the arrangement.
Yeah.
Because then that would be like you'd have to do something like they're doing with Ali now, where you just have a lot of taped content you can use of someone.
Yeah. And that's fine. It's, the fact that Nick is over in New Japan too, that's just more places you could see him if you're a fan. I know there's a few people in the chat that are not crazy about Nick.
Who are
That's
these?
okay, to each their own. We're not telling you you all have to be.
He's the most wanted man.
Who made the graphic?
What's that?
The graphic with Moose and Ash.
I did.
Lean in a little closer, J-Bone. A little closer. Little more.
Ah. She's picking up what you're putting down.
I need a tan.
I should have had my
camera
ready.
Yeah, as soon as we went live, I saw that and I was like, ooh.
I was surprised J-Bone's conducting himself so professionally right now.
Let me tell you, it's not easy. I might have to
I at least think you should change your name for tonight to
J-Bone by
Elegance. It's only
J-Bone by Elegance.
J-Bone by Elegance. Iceman, we need you. Hop on. Just for he can say, this is J-Bone by Elegance.
I think I am. Let's see here. I haven't done this in a while. No, that's not it.
And then Nemeth fans are out. They're out.
But okay, so while I figure this out, how to do this, why don't you continue with the news there, buddy?
The news. Looks like J-Bone wants me to discuss the hot topic.
I really don't want to talk about it.
Well, I know people have mentioned it in the chat, and we don't hide from topics here, J-Bone. If the people are here to talk about the news, even if I disagree with the news, because it was a leaked content that went out, and not that kind of leak out of the gutter, people. It was a letter that went out. Oh, there it is. J-Bone by Elegance. You got to love it.
Because I'm so elegant.
That members of the, and it's not really clear. It was brought to us by one of our favorite stirred sheets, Sean Ross Sapp. But by being Sean Ross Sapp, I assume it is a wrestler because that's who he has contacts with more than people in the office.
He does?
So, well, yeah. Like that, they're the people that will talk to him. But there was a letter addressed to Len Asper and Scott about the whole situation with the Scott dismissal that we've previously discussed. And there's still a video with me and J-Bone on that breaking news night. And then we touched on, there was some aftermath, a little more to the story about the buying of TNA, but it seemed like he was already out the door. But now kind of the fallout a week later, there was like a Zoom meeting and the aftermath, a lot of like the Scott D'Amore on social media, like the thank you, Scott, we want Scott's. And now it seems like there was at least someone put together a letter and people signed off. Once again, no names, I believe, have been leaked on who. But I'm sure they're probably the closest people to Scott, I would imagine. But pretty much telling Anthem, we love the company, it's a family, everything like that. Scott was much more than just a boss. And pretty much they're almost pleading with Anthem to do the right thing going forward. Kind of almost hinting at like bring Scott back, pretty much. Or make sure to have a wrestling person involved. Now, I know there's quite a few opinions online about this. First, once again, I think whoever leaked it should not have. I don't think this should be public discourse. Because you get these different factions often in locker rooms, in sports, in companies. But you do that behind closed doors. Like you do that on 101, and that's when stuff becomes public like that, that's where stuff falls apart. It gets ugly. And this just seems like a bad idea. And I know fans, because everybody's like hardcore and like we want this, and they're like, this is great. I get it. I get what you're thinking. But if you're billionaire Len, I don't think you look at it that way. You're like, this is a nuisance, and you squash it.
Well, didn't something happen to Len?
What do you mean happen to Len?
I thought Len was also replaced.
You're thinking Ed.
Oh, that's what happened.
But that was a year ago. I don't know how that's a story. Ed was the TNA president. In March of last year, Scott became TNA president.
Right.
And he went to other Anthem duties.
Right.
But now all of a sudden they're acting like he's been president the whole time. Scott was president for the last year.
Right.
Not
Ed. I thought I read something that.
Oh no, it was a story on Dirt Sheets, just like Braun Strowman coming in 2021.
Right.
Which was now a story
Which is
again.
Ridiculous.
Like I'm guessing slow days at the Dirt Sheets.
Okay. A very slow day. Yeah. Yeah, I really didn't want to bring it up, but I respect Bill's opinion for wanting to just at least bring it up. It's Scott's going to have supporters. That's fine.
Oh yeah. Oh, and I consider myself a Scott supporter.
Oh yeah.
But I think there's a difference between a supporter and the lines get blurred. Because I don't think Scott would want people to take this into like a negative for the company. And I think some of this is becoming more of a, like, if you're like, I'm Team Scott versus Team Anthem, if you're not Team Anthem, you're not really Team TNA.
Right.
Because they are the company.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. They own the brand. I mean, you can't.
Well, like you're just like everything else. You can always be like if it's a sports team and you don't like your owner, you can be like, oh, I want them to sell. They're probably not gone, but you can hope for it. You can think about it. But I see T. Hughes here because this is something I'm wondering myself, honestly. Wasn't at that same time. Now this is March of last year. Richard Schaefer. He's talking about the boxing chap was announced as joining Anthem. Yes. I know because I remember him because I'm a boxing fan. And he was kind of head of Golden Boy Promotions, which was Oscar De La Hoya's boxing promotion. And like they were doing big business. Richard Schaefer. I think like he had the nickname like the Swiss Banker. And like he was a renowned figure in there. And when Anthem brought him on board, I'm like, that's interesting. Like that could lead to some things. Now we haven't heard much in business and all. That's not a real long amount of time. So he could be doing a ton behind the scenes, but that is an interesting thing to keep an eye on because he was a big name in sports. So, but we haven't heard anything in this last week or so since the Scott news. So I am wondering what his part in this is going forward.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's a Swack fan in the chat says, yeah, there's a lot of podcasts coming out of the woodwork talking about TNA, which is fine.
And I think that's why I think we had to bring it up because we are the TNA only podcast out there. And if we didn't, because this is what the people are talking about, the TNI fam is talking about it.
Right.
So, and like I said, there is some legitimacy to it. Like it was put out there. A couple of other people confirmed, yeah, that it was out there. Like they were like, that is like, it took a while. Cause like I said, I don't think it should have been put out there. I hate when the dirt sheets just throw this stuff out there. but that's on the person that leaked it, honestly. So I'm not going to totally blame him. I've been in journalism, so I know that can't blame the person that publishes it.
Right.
If there's not sources, then you can't do it. But it is something to kind of keep an eye on. Once again, that could have been a couple people. It could have been double-digit people. It's unknown. We don't know really anything. And we know, once again, for good reason, Scott has a lot of allies there. So I'm sure people want to support him how they can. Like, but remember, a lot of emotions, like Moose, I'm going dark. And but it was like a day. Then he started promoting everything again. Like, it was like, but I get it. That first day, I was the same way. I was shocked.
Sure.
But you still got to think of the long term of the company. And once again, Scott is TNA through and through. So would it shock me in the least his return at some point? No. But I don't know if something like this getting out there helps that.
Yeah.
Might have good intent, but I don't know if it
Yeah.
has good results.
Yeah. Honestly, I see him joining another company before he comes back.
He could.
And to offer his pro wrestling,
Yeah, hey, who knows? Maybe he just plays it down low and gets more heavily involved at Border City. Could do anything, but could do a stint with a big guy. That's fine too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Double J gives him a phone call.
Double J.
I've heard a lot of people say that. It's like, hey, it could happen. We'll see.
I don't know. I don't think that would be the move for him. If I'm him, once again, I hate to even speculate because TNA, but if you're going to do something, maybe you work with your allies, Jeremy Borash and Abyss.
Right.
Like NXT, less big political egos somewhere. Because anywhere else, you're not going to be thought of, or go to Japan.
Yeah, could be. So, all right. Well, we'll keep an eye on this subject for the in the future. See what happens.
Yes, it's developing news. Like I think every week we'll hear something. Probably
sure.
leaking out from somewhere.
Yeah. Bonus baby, I don't think that's going to happen. Global Force Wrestling.
Well, you got to be careful, J-Bone, because I think Global Force may still be around in some form. Like I believe they put on some kind of show within the last year.
They did, but it was strictly like a charity event.
Yeah, well, yeah. But hold on, J-Bone, we're not done.
Oh,
David Penzer, hold the phone. The news isn't done yet.
Hold the phone. What does he mean? The news isn't done. By the way, good evening, David Penzer. Good to see you in the chat.
David Penzer, let us know if you have any more. Or do you want the TNI show to go over some more news? I'll leave it in your hands.
Right.
There might be some more news.
It could be
exclusive news.
Exclusive. Oh, like as in something might be happening next week on this show. Exclusive.
Correct, J-Bone.
Oh, I love it when that happens. Oh, David says go for it. All right.
Yes, next week we have obtained from the great David Penzer himself the footage from his goodbye to, at the time, Impact Wrestling, the last Impact Wrestling event, where he got the exclusive send-off from Coach Scott D'Amore and the roster. Very, very, like I was there live. So seeing the footage, it's great to get out there because obviously it hasn't been seen. I think everyone should see it. It's a great thing for David Penzer, but also Scott D'Amore. Like really for the Scott fans, we all know here or in the chat. Yeah. Like it just shows him in a great light, the whole roster. So that's going to be a great thing to get out there. So everybody, please tune in next week. We'll have that exclusively. David Penzer, hopefully we'll have him here to be giving his rundown of everything that happened. Right. And then obviously once we get it out there, feel free to promote it and get everyone to see it because a legend in the business was done right by TNA, and it's a great thing to see. So definitely next week.
And he says,
"No surrender."
Yay!
Go home.
He says he's going to be here next week with an exclusive announcement.
Ooh, yes, and that's also because, like, we've seen David Penzer in the chat here and there, but hey, what's he going to be up to next?
Right.
So find out here.
Sky's the limit.
So yeah, so David Penzer will join us next week, and we'll have the footage. And it's short but sweet. It's just a few minutes, but it's still great to see, and we're big fans of David Penzer, friend of the show, and so yeah, very excited. Can't wait to see you next week, Mr. Penzer. Now the big question everybody wants to know is, as far as David Penzer joining us next week, is Penzer going to be poolside?
I hope.
Well, yeah,
we can only hope.
In Florida, are you always poolside?
So yeah, can't wait till next week. All right. Anything else? I think that's it as far as news.
Well, I know just like there were quite a few birthdays these last couple of days, with today being Rich Swann's birthday, the former world champion.
Yeah.
Oh,
so happy birthday to Rich Swann.
Happy birthday, Rich Swann.
Happy birthday to everyone who's having birthdays.
Yeah, because I know last Thursday.
In one go.
Yeah, last Thursday was Daniel Spencer, and now it kind of. But I think there was there may have been maybe two others too. So there was a lot going on.
The fucking Aquariuses.
Yeah, busy month for the roster.
Also, very good friend of mine, Dizzy from Ramblers Unleashed, sister show to TNI. So happy birthday, Diz. Hope your day was awesome.
Enjoy.
And any other birthdays?
Nope.
There were others, but I'm sure someone may bring them up in the chat.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah. Will Ostrich. Dear God. All right.
Ostrich is legend now.
Yeah, it is. Well, let's start with the show then. We start off hot here, the February 15th.
Oh, there was Tommy Dreamer and Chris Bay. Thank you, Eli. Or the other birthdays.
Oh, okay.
Not today, over the last couple days.
Gotcha. Okay, sounds good. Speedball Mike Alexander.
That is, man.
All right, so we got Kaz versus Jake something kicking off this episode of TNA.
Impact.
TNA Impact.
Well, you got to do it. Impact.
Well, what a way to start. Yeah, well, what a way to start the show with a heavy dose of serotonin.
Yes.
There it is.
We love the serotonin.
I needed a way to work it in somehow. Because he's not being very serotonin-y. Whatever made-up word we're going to use here.
Is it serotonin-ish?
Not even.
Oh.
This is a good match. I mean, a good good on Jake something for giving Kaz a little run for his money there, don't you think?
Yeah, because he's been getting, as I like to do my Rockstar Spud impression, the push lately.
Push.
So, obviously Jake's been getting the push. So, but now we know Kaz is getting, it seems like he's getting a very big push right now, like main event type push in his current storyline. So, no, I thought he gave him a good match here. Jake still looks strong because he always looks strong.
Mm-hmm. He's a big, strong boy.
Yeah.
Oh.
J-Bone.
What happened, J-Bone?
No, that was an accident. That was a total accident.
You're the only one who knows what happened.
J-Bone. But that's okay. Let's continue on the match here. But Alicia, I actually had a little serotonin thing yesterday.
Oh yeah?
I went to see Madam Web.
Okay.
All right. And there's a part of the movie because the whole thing is like using your mind.
Ooh.
So they say serotonin at one point during the movie. And I was about to, I think I, in my seat, raised my fist and said to myself,
Serotonin. That's the good shit.
Yeah,
that's what I like to see. See, it's become such a thing that people want to yell it, even in the movie theater.
You just hear it, and it's like a calling card.
Rolls off the tongue like it's got a certain je ne sais quoi.
So, but that was your opening contest here.
Yeah, opening. Just the opening.
Just the opening. That's all we got to so far. So we're gonna have to pick up the pace, if you know what I mean.
All right. Bill, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to drop out for a few minutes while I fix this and get him back. All right.
All right. Sounds good.
What happened?
We had J-Bone fat fingered on the old.
It's all that damn checkers.
Yeah, so that's all that damn checkers. But that's okay. Oh yes, and here is I like that Mayor before we get off this match. Was EY at the tapings? Because we see him peeking from backstage, which they did last week and they did again this week, where he's kind of watching the match, seeing what's happening. But now you're testing my knowledge, Mayor, because it's been a little while. I'm pretty sure EY was at the tapings. Obviously, we just saw him backstage, so we had to be there. So we're running with it that he was there. All right. So we go from our opener there. Let's make sure I got what I need in front of me. To EY backstage, where he challenged Frankie to a match next week. So they were kind of alluding to this like last week during this match. Did you think we were going to get a match this quick between them?
No, actually, I was expecting a little more mind games, but it's okay.
Yeah, it had that feel. Like, do you remember it was the Steve Macklin versus Josh Alexander, and they were creative that whole time. Like they had him for months watching him backstage.
Yeah,
which was awesome.
I dug that.
So this has a little similarities, but very quick. So be interesting to see this match next week. See what happens.
It's going to be a hell of a match anyway. So
the OGs. You gotta love that.
Eric Young's just great, and so is Kaz. So can't complain.
Legends right there. Legends. So next we got some knockouts action. We got the knockouts world champion. Jordynne Grace facing a member, maybe, of the Shoulderage, Savannah Evans, but because Gisele was there, but this whole thing with the Shoulderage is kind of crumbling before our eyes. But thoughts on the match before we kind of go over the aftermath?
Where are my notes? Give me a second.
Oh, we got notes. We
Well,
got
maybe
notes.
not many notes. Hang on, I gotta go get them. Give me a second.
And let us know your thoughts. Because obviously, quick notes. Good night, Paul.
It's good to see Jordynne getting paired against new opponents. Think for her, it's starting through the cycle again, since she's the top dog of the yard, so to speak. I've been saying for a while, especially since we had her on the show, that I am okay with Savannah separating from the Entourage, only because I feel like she's got enough to work with where she could actually do very well in a singles run without the help of people. I feel the same about everybody else in the Entourage as well. They're good together, they're great together, but separate, they could be something a little more.
And that's usually what has to happen. Like,
yeah,
you look at almost anybody. Like, they started out in a tag team, a bodyguard, and they eventually need to break out on their own. And you have the flight or fail. Either you're going to capitalize on that and you're going to become bigger, or sometimes it doesn't work out. But you at least need to have that opportunity. So
right,
it feels right, because she's been part of it now for a while, and she kind of, like, even though she's been part of it for so long, she was brought in with Tasha in that similar role. So to have her be her own possible thing moving forward, that probably is best.
Yeah,
I would agree with you on that. But so we had some back and forth action here, but Jordynne obviously as the champ, she got the win. But after the match is where you really had the fallout here, because you had Gisele attack her with the X, the Ultimate X.
Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah. But then she hit Savannah Evans with the X.
Yeah.
And then she just then she goes and just hits another move there on Jordynne. So yeah.
Well, like I said, for Gisele, it could be one of two things. Either she is cutting ties with her crew, or she's pulling a fast one on Jordynne, luring her into a false sense of security so she can...
Are you saying a little rope-a-dope?
Yeah, little Duper's delight. Roping her in, chopping her down. So we'll just have to see, but I am excited for the match regardless, because I love seeing Jordynne and I love seeing Gisele in the ring. So
yeah, well, you look at it, and like bringing people back, because like I think even though it was a losing effort, Gisele at Multiverse United 2, she didn't even like connect on the one move, but she was taking risks.
Yeah.
And I remember my like earliest memories of Gisele before she joined the company was I think at Progress, and she was doing some crazy stuff in Progress.
Yeah.
But she's been more, and don't disagree with it, I'll say more traditional in a lot of her moves and stuff, like not doing that crazy stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Like not trying to do like spot fest or something, but she did 2 big spots at the Multiverse show that made that match very memorable. I could see her pulling something off during this match. Like I feel like she's going for something big in this match. It's a high risk maneuver of some kind.
I can see it happening.
Something memorable. We'll have people talking. Like there'll be gifs online right after it happens. So
yeah, for sure.
I'm looking forward to it. I think people might be sleeping on this match because you've had like the Trinity, Deanna, Jordynne, Mickey really at the top of that division for so long. I think people are thinking Jordynne recently won. It's going to be a cakewalk type thing. But I think Gisele's going to surprise. I think Gisele's going to give her a match here. And I think there could be some shenanigans.
I think there's going to be shenanigans, and I hope there is. But even if there isn't, it's going to be an exceptional match worth tuning in for.
All right. Now, this is followed up by, as you may guess, one of my favorite segments of the night. We get Gia backstage. She's going to get the official interview with Ash by Elegance, but interrupted by the Iceman, who takes the microphone to introduce her. And we get from Ash, she will be making her in-ring debut next week on the TNI. Not the TNI, the TNA show on TNI. But in-ring, Ash by Elegance on the show next week. We've been waiting. We've been waiting for it. It's going to happen.
Patiently.
What are you thinking here? What are you thinking? What do you now? Are you that? I know we kind of talked, but are you that familiar with her previously?
Yes. I've said almost every week since before we acquired her that I liked it when she went by Dana Brooke at the other place. I think she's a strong character that probably didn't get treated the best because she is a really good wrestler. I think she's got a strong approach to the ring, and she can do no-handed cartwheels. I respect anybody. I mean, granted, I have a feeling we might not see many of those out of Ash by Elegance.
Yeah, does that fit the Ash by Elegance? Maybe.
I hope it does. I hope it does.
So we're looking for that. Be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout for no-handed cartwheels. But yeah, I think she's coming in fresh, which I really appreciate. When you kind of separate yourself from the alias you went by previously, when you come to a new place, I really respect that, and I'm willing to fan the fire because she's looking smoking. So next week,
all valid points. Kudos to her and to TNA, because I think the vignettes, the build, the use of Iceman have all been excellent to help build this up. Because now it's like she's an event right now. Like that's a you must see is Ash by Elegance. So very much looking forward to it. And that's going to be must see next week. So stay tuned for that, because we know you're going to have to be here on TNI for our exclusive with David Penzer, but you also got to see that.
I have to be there. He'll get mad at me again.
You'll get a lashing.
Get a stern talking to. In a very Why didn't you say hi? Why didn't you say hi?
But we go here with another. I thought tonight's segments were all really good. And we go to sound check 2 weeks in a row. We get the sound check. So we're getting a lot of Alan Angels right now.
It's good to see Alan when he's 2 feet on the ground and not flying through the air with the assistance of Josh Alexander.
That's it is good. Last weekend it was a little rough.
Less motion sickness.
But he's guest this week. That's Simon Gotch. Not a fan. That was Simon Gotch in the crowd that attacked Josh Alexander.
That vaudevillain.
That vaudevillain. But honestly, I had forgotten. Like, Gotch reminded everybody tonight. But the match where Josh Alexander got signed was at Destiny Wrestling, which was Iceman's promotion, was against Simon Gotch. It was Simon Gotch and Josh Alexander 5 years ago. But he kind of went over that it was edited out of everything. It's like, you don't know it was him. And you know what? That's a very valid point, because the story was Josh Alexander got offered the contract by Scott D'Amore after his match at Destiny Wrestling, but no one really ever mentioned who he fought. It really was like this was great storytelling here. I know it's like it's the joke punchline, because if not, I can't stand the term finish their story. But it is a funny thing to say, because this has legitimacy for that, because
there's a story to finish.
There is a story. There's a 5-year story in this angle. So kudos to that because, like I said, I saw this. I didn't put this together until I saw the segment. I'm like, he's right. It was him fighting Josh Alexander in that match. It's almost like a Mandela effect. It's like, did that actually happen? I guess it did.
It did. In this case, it did. So
It actually did.
So it's not a Mandela.
It's not a
effect.
Mandela, but it feels like it is because I still feel like that didn't happen, and he wrestled.
Yeah,
but he did.
Surprise!
Surprise! It's real. It is Berenstein.
I can. All right, real quick, a little shenanigan to throw in here. I am still convinced that Sinbad did that genie movie. I have
that's the other one, man.
But here's the thing, though. That exists along the Shaq one exists too. They both happened.
They both happened. They were both genies.
There's no. It happened.
I think it's just we all believe Sinbad had every role.
You know what it is though, is that he dressed like a genie.
He probably was on multiple red carpets looking like a genie.
What fucked us all up. But I swear
he was
to
at
God,
the Jingle All the Way premiere looking like a genie.
That's my favorite Christmas movie.
That's number one?
That's number one.
My cookies?
My cookies. It is. It's my favorite. I like a lot of Christmas movies, but Jingle All the Way is the Christmas story.
There you go.
There we
24 hours of Jingle All the Way. Make it happen.
No,
too much.
No, because then I start quoting the damn thing, and it's a mess.
All right, but that's not the end of our segment here.
No,
because we did get like Gotch's. He's talking about TNA, the air of these grievances. He's happy, he thanks them, but then interrupted by the walking weapon, and they brawl. You got to watch out. The sound check, dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not getting hit with like a boom mic or Josh Alexander. Wait, did Alan Angels get involved? Was he thrown? Because I might have spoke too soon on keeping his feet on the ground.
You know what? I feel like he just felt like he was off to the side. Someone else can confirm. I don't think he actually got hit. I think he was like in the background.
He's got to take these guys to court for ruining his set.
Put a lot of effort into that set.
It costs about $15.
What costs more, this set or the locker room leader set that just had a plant, a couch and a plant?
That is prime set design, might I add.
It's one of the greatest of all time. I love that set.
It's just a plant.
Just a plant, plastic plant, rubber tree plant.
I'll take anything as long as it's not prop food in front of people that no one's gonna touch.
Yeah, the whole prop food. I'm with you on there. You gotta eat your prop food.
That looked amazing. Can't be balls deep on ribs.
Oh, there it is. Now
I figure if I add it subtly, then they won't jump on it as fast.
There you go. Subtle like this next match here. Match of the night, I say. Match 2 in the best 2 out of 3 for the tag team championships of the world. The champs, Ace and Bay, the ABC, and the Grizzled Young Vets. J-Bone, back in the house.
Oh, you're back.
I am
Here, switch the
back.
order. I don't like being in the top corner. Throws my vibe all off.
Hold on. Here, let me.
There we go.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
All right.
Now, J-Bone.
Yes.
Hold on. I'll rope you back in here. So since now, unless you're very opinionated on something we've already discussed, I just was laying out match 2 in the best 2 out of 3 series for the tag team titles. ABC Grizzled Young Vets.
Oh,
Thoughts on this match? Two of the best
I
tag teams in the world.
just want to say I loved the sound check. I thought
That's what I thought. I thought you might want to say something. I love the sound check as well. Oh, yes. That's Alicia.
I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. All right.
I thought she was timing out to talk about the sound check some more. 'Cause we love the sound check.
Yeah, I thought that was very cool. Very cool. Loved Simon's stuff. And
He's going to finish his story.
In fact, that they showed the old footage of, because I'm like, wait, did Simon really wrestle him in that match?
I'll tell you, J-Bone. I remember when this happened.
Right.
And he beat him and he got the contract. But it is like he doesn't exist from that match. Like, he had such a valid point. Like, it's one of those things where I don't place him in that match. But the footage is there. It happened. He did face him.
Yeah. He did. Yeah. And so that's a great entrance into this whole thing.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like, last week when this happened, I didn't put that together.
Yeah. I do have to quickly say I accidentally banned Eli from the chat. I went into the studio to do what I could to take that account and bring it back into the allowed chatters. I even private messaged him on Twitter. So I was trying to get someone else in the chat that was just being stupid. So my apology.
The chat was moving too fast for you, J-Bud.
Yeah, sometimes it just does that, and you try to get someone else, and then it's like, oops, oh crap! And
gotta be careful, J-Bud. You got to do that double check.
He's actually he's one of our members. So
one of our members, J-Bud.
That made me feel double bad. It wasn't just we'll get him back, but so I'm hoping we get Eli back. We get a complete accident. So
all right.
We continue. But yeah, Grizzled Young Vets and
the ABC.
And the ABC, great match. I was really looking forward to Justin Shush. Really looking forward to this one. Very excited about Grizzled Young Vets being a
hey,
yay, he's here. Thank you.
You did it, J-Bone.
Yeah, he's back. Yay, I'm sorry. Complete accident. Okay. Good. That makes me feel better.
Privileges revoked, J-Bone.
We love I'm fired. I will see myself out.
That's not elegance, J-Bone.
It's not.
You're ruining the elegance name.
Not very elegant, J-Bone. Oh gosh. And Alicia's here. All right.
More coffee.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Ooh, more coffee.
Gots
living on the edge.
Java.
That reminds me. I should get one of my cold brew coffee drinks. I picked up a handful of them from the dollar store. I love those little things. There's the Twix, the Snickers, and the Twinkie one.
I have Snickers creamer.
Snickers creamer.
Isn't that good?
It's my favorite.
That does sound good.
It tastes so good. And then I have Jamaican coffee.
Oh, Jamaican.
It's like heaven in a cup.
It is. I didn't. One thing I did take away from this is they were really, really working on Ace's arm during this match. That really became a factor, and I love it when that becomes like a focal point of the match, and they just beat the tar out of them. Crazy.
J-Bone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and just our old co-stream days.
Sorry.
It's a good line. It's a good line. But we used to talk about Dion all the time. Limb work, J-Bone.
Yes, love the limb work.
T. Hughes, you know what? I'm reviving it. Well,
Yeah, you got to do it.
Got to do it. It's been a
Got
while.
it. We can do it.
All right, we can do it. Where's the quick one?
Let's have fun.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
There we go. Bonus,
And
baby.
you know what?
Great Aerosmith
yeah.
song. Yeah.
There's something wrong in the world today.
The light bulb's getting dim. That's my favorite
right.
line of that
It's a
song.
great line. I was waiting for someone to say it. I thought it was going to be Alicia J, but
It's I'm such a shit.
Okay.
Because we were going over all Jingle All the Way. You missed our whole Jingle All the Way conversation, J-Bone.
I'm so sorry.
Did you see Jingle All the Way? Do you even know what we're talking about?
I probably have. Is that the one with Arnold?
Yeah.
And he's looking for the toy?
The
Yes.
best one.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen it. And Sinbad's the other guy. He's the
Yes.
Yeah.
Genie.
The genie
yeah.
from the movie Shazam. Shazam.
I missed that one. But yeah, I did see Jingle All the Way. I probably saw that when it first came out for some strange reason. I don't know.
There you go, J-Bone from Eli. It's turbo time. Not bad time. Turbo
Nice.
time, J-Bone.
Nice. It's turbo time. Yeah, they were looking for the toy or whatever. And I can turbo bone. What, Zach? Stop that.
These are life questions.
The man is saying Jingle All the Way, but not E.T. Yes, Justin. Just back off, man.
Well, it means you have children in an age range.
Right. I can't remember
Where
what
Jingle
year
All
it
the
came.
Way was their childhood. E.T. was closer to your childhood.
Right. Yeah, I was a wee
You
little
deprived
bone
yourself,
man.
but not your children.
No, my parents deprived me.
You're blaming Pops?
Yeah. No, I can't do that makes me sound like a really shitty song. He's 87 years old. He's had time to take me, damn it. No.
It still plays occasionally in the theater.
I'm going to hell.
Oh, and there is a wrestling angle. Mayor's right. Paul Waite was in the movie too.
Yeah, he plays a Santa.
A mean
In
Santa.
E.T.? Not in E.T.
Jingle All the Way. Come on.
Oh, I gotta look up the quote. What does he say in the movie? It's the funniest thing.
See, and I might have seen that when I wasn't even watching wrestling. When did that movie come out?
In like the late 90s?
Yeah, and I started watching wrestling again in the late 90s. So there's a good chance I wasn't even watching wrestling again at that
Oh,
time
I
that
know
the
what it
movie
is.
came out.
He gets the suspenders and he's like, I'm going to deck your halls.
Yep. I'm gonna deck your halls, bub.
I had to remember the suspenders. I need the movement with the quote.
Was there any wrestlers in E.T.?
No.
All right, then I'll have to see it.
E.T. was a champion on his planet, the Green Planet.
What?
No, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody.
That's right.
Dear God.
1996.
Yeah. See,
Great year. Great year.
I was not even watching wrestling then. It was like a year. It was like a year or two later. It was like right when
That was high
Goldberg
school.
popped on the scene.
That was the targeted demographic for that movie.
Whenever Goldberg popped in the scene, that was when I started watching again.
You know, Goldberg did a Christmas movie.
Oh yeah, he was like an evil Santa or something.
Yeah.
I saw clips of it. Horrible. I love
Call yourself a
Goldberg.
Goldberg fan.
Goldberg is always going to be one of my favorites, but damn, that movie was horrible.
How
Well, J-Bone,
horrible was
you know what-
it? Oh, sorry.
Do you know what's not horrible, J-Bone? One of my favorite segment of the night.
Uh-oh.
Dirty Dango, Alpha Bravo, Oleg Prudius on the race car track.
Didn't we already cover that segment?
No. Well, we talked about it briefly earlier that it was fantastic.
Oh wait, was that after this match?
That was after this match.
Damn it. I accidentally did not.
You didn't watch this?
I watched it. I just didn't jot anything down for it. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's good stuff, J-Bone. It's good stuff.
Yeah, okay. So the Will Ostrich and the
Will Ostrich. People have been referring to this all show.
Speedball Mike Varney or no? What did he
Mike
call him?
Mike Alexander.
Mike Alexander.
He was talking about 5-star matches, and he was talking about Scott Flash Norton. Come on.
Oh God.
And he issued a open challenge to any tag team in the world.
It asked for it next week, so we'll see who shows up.
He asked Oleg where he was in the PWI 500 last year.
And he didn't even comment.
Yeah, then he put the Panda Energy reference. Where's the Panda Energy card? Come on. Come on. It was
That
classic.
was funny. That was
Don't
funny.
sleep on Dango promos. Like those taped promos are awesome. Like that they got away from those during those last couple months. Was like, oh, because I was loving those when they were showing up. Classic Double D.
Classic.
100%.
Classic. I absolutely did pay more attention to the next promo here from Mustafa Ali.
Yes.
There's a gap in my notes where I missed a bunch of shit. So talk amongst yourselves. It went from Grizzled Young Vets to MK Ultra. So
Okay, so these were back-to-back segments.
Oh.
This is where
well,
I'm loving it. But this was so after Dango, you got the weekly political ad for Ali, campaigning for that X Division title. And he said he's gonna bring prestige back. Which is kind of an interesting comment to make when you're talking about the 10-time champion. Like, if it was Trey Miguel, you could have said that. Because when you're spray painting the title, you need prestige back. But this is the 10-time champion. Hail Sabin.
Yeah.
Hail Sabin.
Hail Sabin. I am very excited about Mustafa Ali coming in, though. In Ali we trust. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. No, it's interesting, though, because that's going to be, I think, a double face match, but then maybe not so because it's followed up by the Good Hands cutting a promo about wanting to pretty much work for Ali.
Yeah, they want to back him up.
So
I don't know how.
Obviously, that would help heal him up a little bit if that's what they're going for. But I still don't think he's going to come off as a heel.
It's really going to depend on how he acts in the ring. That's going to be like 75% of it right there.
Yeah, because when he first comes out, he's going to get a pop.
I would think he would, because I'm very excited to see this next chapter in his career, because I do think he's underrated, and I feel like he made the best out of a chicken shit sandwich, that was given to him in the E, and just a case of bad booking.
Well, yeah, looking at it, like what he's been doing on his indie appearances, like they're all selling out. Like, and he's a big part of it. So, like, the demand's there. Like, he's one of the ones that people are like, we want to see more of, give him more opportunity. And now that he's getting it, the fans are showing up and showing out. But yeah. Oh, rolling.
They see me
Like a
rolling. They
hating.
Don't sing it.
Riding dirty. Riding dirty.
Never can't help himself.
I'm riding nerdy.
Did Weird Al do a parody of that?
Probably. Yeah, it's
That's
too
something
white and
nerdy. Yeah,
white and nerdy.
White and nerdy. There you go.
White and nerdy.
Weird Al. He needs to show up at a TNA show. He feels like a celebrity that should have been in TNA. Like when Chris Rock's showing up. It feels like, where was Weird Al during that era? He feels like he's the type of personality that should have showed up at a TNA show.
He's always been there. I'm sure he wrote some songs.
Oh, speaking of songs, I know we're getting a little off the train tracks when I'm bringing this up, but I wanted to bring this up just for shits and giggles, just to discuss it for a bit, because the big game was this past weekend.
Oh, the big game. He can't help himself from doing a song lyric, but he won't say the words that you can't say about the big game. Kudos.
Yeah, well,
professional.
What was everyone's opinion on Usher's performance? I actually thought it was pretty good. I was impressed.
I mean, I was deep into the snack coma at that point, so we made pizza and wings and had all kinds of dips. So
yeah,
pizza
well, that's my Super Bowl, okay?
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was fine for what it is. It was a little, and I guess that more so was more ballad heavy Usher stuff than like dancing, like club type Usher. But it was still good. And like it had some good moments. It's tough. That's a tough act to do the halftime show.
How do you do the halftime show when Taylor Swift is in the audience? Jesus.
Well, not easy.
That's a hard one to follow. She's one of the biggest.
Hey, let's face it, Taylor Swift won the Super Bowl.
She's killing it.
She's always winning.
And she can beat you in a beer drinking contest too, apparently.
Hey,
Mayor says the game was better than the halftime show. Hey, I will say that
it was a good game. It was neck and neck.
Well, the second half was better.
Right.
The first half wasn't that great. It got better. That second half. Some commercials were bailing out that first half, if we're going to be honest.
Oh, the commercials were primo. I love the commercials.
I only watch for the commercials.
I can't tell you how many times I've had to pause the game and quick jump on YouTube and be like, "Where's this trailer?" I know, white and nerdy. All right, we could. I just wanted to talk about it for a minute because I thought it was cool.
No. It's a big enough event where
was Eli Drake during this? Yeah,
may have been there. Well, we know there were a contingent of wrestlers at the. Not anybody I know from. Well, our former Knockouts champion was there. Trinity was there.
Oh, okay.
She was there with kind of pretty much the WWE crew and the dentist.
Yeah. They had the San Fran hair.
They were all San Fran'd up. And I'll be honest. Did I take a personal satisfaction in San Francisco losing? I did.
Ooh, scandalous, Bill.
Oh.
Why? Because they cried all last year after losing to the Eagles. Like, oh, if our quarterback didn't get hurt, we would have won. But guess what? He didn't get hurt.
Is that who Discount Double Check ended up on? Oh
no. the Eagles injured Purdy by sacking him to the ground in the NFC Championship game last year. And then they injured their backup quarterback. So then their third stringer had to play, but they didn't have a third stringer. So Christian McCaffrey was quarterbacking part of it. But it was a lot of whining in the offseason. So
I got you.
they're not that likable.
I wanted the Ravens to win because they're purple.
There you go. I like that reasoning.
I like purple a lot, so that's always going to be my team.
I had a friend years ago that told me, she's like, I love the Cowboys. And I'm like, why? She's like, because the silver and the blue is just
a lot of people do. That's why a lot of people like the Cowboys.
I'm like,
good color scheme. I had a Miami Dolphins starter jacket when I was a kid, but that's only because I really like Dolphins.
Yeah, the Dolphin.
I didn't know.
I'm like, I can't talk to you anymore.
Well, honestly, when I was a teenager, like everybody had the Raiders. Like the Raiders were the team because of the starter jackets. A Raiders starter jacket was like the most popular thing in the country.
Oh, God.
Back then, yeah. The 90s, it was a dope starter jacket.
Look at Zach Bonifer giving you some dolphins over here.
That's a whale. Oh, no, it's a dolphin. Thought it was one of those.
It's talking.
Yeah.
Flipper.
Say, bring back Dan Marino.
There you go. I like it.
He was in like
laces out, Dad.
He was in like half of the commercials, I swear. All right, we can see digital media championship on the line here. Crazy Steve defending against Rhino. Boy, did Steve give it to Rhino.
He's got violent.
I was just gonna say I was expecting more from Rhino, but Steve got him.
You can't get one over on Insane Steven.
No, apparently not.
My favorite moment of the match was when Ray Walt is on commentary and goes, "This isn't Philadelphia."
Oh, but only if it was.
Will be soon enough.
Are you? Oh, do I want to start a side conversation? No. I was gonna say because isn't WrestleMania's Philly or whatever this year? So
yeah.
all the hubbub is going on in Philly.
There's a lot of hubbub. Plus, TNA's coming to Philly in
March.
A month. Yeah.
Really?
The 2300 Arena, 2 nights.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think it's any specific event. I think it's just 2 nights of taping.
2 nights of TV.
That's good enough for me, though.
I love me some TV.
I love me some 2300 Arena.
It's
my favorite wrestling venue.
I'll be the happiest guy in the room. Both nights.
Probably.
That's where Sandman poured the beer on me.
Doesn't get better than that.
Oh, that's
fun memories.
The Sandman. I've actually never. If you go back in history, if you go on your TNA Plus, you may find footage of maybe James Storm pouring a beer in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
All my years of ECW, TNA, I've never had Sandman beer me.
Yeah.
Usually he goes with the ladies, usually. Or very jovial fellas, shall I say.
There you go.
And I'm not as jovial as the standout for him. Because they're pretty much like begging for it. Like, give it to me. I will never do that.
He actually asked me, he's like, you want the beer? I'm like, yeah,
yeah, that's what was
like a baby bird. I was like, okay. He was very polite about it. He wasn't.
Yeah, you can't say no. You can't say no to the Sandman.
I'm not. I got blessed in the 2300 Arena by a beer baptism by the Sandman.
That my beer.
There's video of it somewhere. I gotta find it.
Oh, video.
Yes.
So you know it's real.
Well, it was on the Twitch because they couldn't air it on.
Oh, was it a night you can't miss?
Maybe it was the night I'll never
Was Great
forget.
Muda there? Was Great Muda there?
No, God, it was when they did. It was when Jessica Havoc first came back. So 2018.
Oh,
I still think it's a night you can't miss.
Yeah, maybe. I just remember that like Rob Van Dam and Sabu and the Genie and all that were heavy on the cards. And then Sandman came through and like the the sugar plum beer fairy.
nice.
Oh yeah, Dr. Gerb's also trying to be there. Everybody show up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really.
Dude,
Forget
2300
media.
arena. That's the arena.
I'm gonna start walking tomorrow.
J-Bone.
You'll never be here in time.
The people, when I'm out and about, everyone's asking me, where can we see J-Bone? We need to see J-Bone. I'm like, Chicago, you can see J-Bone.
Yes.
So let's try to get J-Bone out a little farther one of these times. Well, let's see where else in the Midwest they go and go from there. I assume if they ever play Milwaukee, you'll go to Milwaukee. I don't know beyond there.
There's plenty of places in Milwaukee that they could go to. You just gotta. I mean, Milwaukee's rich in wrestling history, you know. So, well, here's the hoping, you know.
Open.
We'll see. All right. But yeah, something down the road. Hopefully, I can get out a little more. I just can't right now.
There we go.
Understandable.
Yeah. But yeah, so Crazy Steve retains against Rhino. Fun match.
Yeah.
I gotta say I love Crazy Steve's gimmick.
Yes.
Yeah, his heel turn has been chef's kiss.
Monumental.
Crowd not happy with it though, because that was a pro Rhino crowd, heavy pro Rhino crowd.
Oh, very. Like even during Crazy Steve's entrance, there was Rhino chants.
Like I said it a couple weeks ago, the biggest pop in Florida during these tapings was Rhino.
Yeah.
Well, because he's awesome. Rhino was my first ever wrestling crush.
Whoa! Breaking news. Hit the music.
I don't know why I'm sharing. It might be the second cup of coffee.
Now is that ECW, like ECW champion Rhino, or is that
all
WWE
the W's?
Rhino?
All the W's.
All the W's.
Wherever he
It was
showed
love
up.
at first.
Gore.
Wet hair.
That wet hair. That's what it was. That was his calling card.
It's very wet.
All right, we've officially gone off the rails, J-Bo.
I loved him in WCW. No, I don't think he was ever in WCW.
I was just about to be like, me too. Sure.
ECW, WW.
He just hit different. I don't know.
He went straight to the E. Sorry, Alicia.
Straight. To
I meant like after ECW.
She's interpreting that as something else.
We'll continue. We'll continue.
I was trying to keep my drink from going everywhere.
We almost had a Jamaican coffee spit.
Almost fucking explosion. Jesus.
Jamaican
Explosion.
Crazy. Speaking of explosion, PCO cutting a promo. He and Khan will face each other at Surrender. PCO a man of few words. Let's see. We get the note on Rebellion tickets being on sale this Saturday. This Saturday. Go.
I gotta get my ticket finger ready.
There you go. Get your ticket fingers ready. Is that a thing? A ticket finger?
It's a thing, J-Bo.
Is that like the old school? You're gonna dial Ticketmaster and
Pretty much.
Hi,
That's my method.
Ticketmaster. I like.
refresh.
That's exactly.
Refresh.
I would like a front row ticket for the. Oh, sorry, it's sold out. Oh, that's what Bill used to deal with, and then he's like, oh, "Computers, I got this now."
Yes, I can be like, and then be like, Ticketmaster fees. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. Screw them Ticketmaster fees. Let's see. Next, we've got
Pearl Jam.
an attempted match. We didn't quite get the match, but we almost got a match of Joe Hendry and Diener. Now, this is actually one of my favorite parts of the show.
Do tell. Why is that, Jabone?
I was excited to see Diener versus Joe Hendry, but then something interesting happened during Joe Hendry's entrance. Joe Hendry's music did not play. It was.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Didn't happen.
It was a diss track from this guy. I'm like, son of a bitch. I have to buy this now because he's on the roster.
TNA Francis.
TNA Francis performed a diss track, and it played like over where Joe Hendry's entrance would have been. And I loved it. I loved it because finally, Joe Hendry got his.
Oh, he got put in his place.
Until he came back with his own track, which was
roll the footage.
Which was just damn good. Yeah, roll the footage. I gotta say, I love that because it was to AJ Styles' classic TNA music.
That was good.
That was really good. So instead of splat. So instead of AJ Styles, it was AJ Francis in the hoodie and the oh man.
I want to know if anybody actually has that shirt.
Oh, somebody has.
Oh, they won't admit it, but yeah.
No, they should.
They should be proud.
They should be proud to own that AJ Styles shirt because it is white and bright and gooey.
All those things.
All those things.
Now, am I crazy, or is this once again one of these?
You're here. Yes, you are crazy. Surely.
But did another wrestler make a version, like an indie wrestler, make that of like for themselves in like the last couple of years? I feel somebody else copied the AJ style.
I hope they did. I couldn't tell you.
If anybody knows in the chat or in the comments later, because I'll have to look, because somebody did this, and I don't know if it was like a 2 initial person as well, but I feel like somebody copied the AJ shirt, an indie guy. I think it was an indie guy. But legendary.
Who though?
I have to put on my thinking cap.
I'm sure it was a bestseller.
Probably sold nearly as many as the original.
A couple, yeah.
Couple dozen.
If Don West could have moved that shirt, nobody can.
Oh God. But yeah, so AJ comes down to the ring. You know, he interrupts Joe Hendry and Diener. Diener attacks Joe Hendry. AJ Francis joins him, and Swan actually comes to the rescue. Now, this is the only part of this whole thing I didn't like. AJ Francis backed down.
Uh-oh.
I thought it was me. I had to look over to see if you were moving. Yeah.
J-Bone, you got technical difficulties, brother. I'm all right. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna pop you out, J-Bone. Probably need to do a little reconnect.
Literally hanging in suspense.
He's hanging.
Eh.
I'm gonna dip him out right now.
Eh.
But he was talking about AJ Francis. And Alicia, what are your thoughts? I wasn't that familiar with him in his work up north.
Same.
But I'm digging AJ Francis. I think a lot of people kind of mocked it, like him, like when he's a free agent, is like, oh, who's this guy? What could he do? But he's showing up here, GCW, like he's showing up,
making the rounds.
Yeah, he's making the rounds, but he's making an impact. Like I'm enjoying what he's doing, and he's gonna be like here, like we've said it before. At times, people are going to cheer for AJ because they think like Joe Hendry maybe deserves some comeuppance.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with you on that one. I wasn't sure what to expect with him coming through, but he's definitely swiftly won me over.
Yeah, and this is like without ever, he's not been in the ring.
Yeah, it's just working character promos and stuff like that. I feel
he gave a hell of a choke slam to Joe.
Yeah.
But that's all we've seen of him in the ring. But his character's fantastic.
He gives me like that devil's advocate kind of vibes that he could talk someone into anything. I don't have the proper words, but
yeah, like when he was talking to Rich Swann about like, hey, you got that front seat in the plane, first class. Like he wants to be everybody's friend in a way. But
help me help you.
Yeah. He's working an angle. I give him credit. He's a hustler.
He's a hustler, baby.
That's right.
Just want you to know.
We got all the tunes. We're playing them all night long. Now here's so after that video, the Get Ready to Dive, very funny. Diener and Francis attack Joe before Rich Swann makes the save. So there's your Rich Swann connection because we know he's been in this storyline.
Mm-hmm.
But then we get the footage from World Wrestling Council in Puerto Rico where Nick Nemeth. And we knew he was going to be wrestling there, but very surprisingly, Steve Macklin shows up and attacks him in Puerto Rico.
Scoundrel.
Very scoundrel.
A scoundrel hanging with some rascals.
That's right, because that's where we get footage of him and the Rascals before they get confronted by Speedball Mountain. And
Speedball Mountain?
Yeah, well, Mike Bailey and Trent Seven. Trent Seven of Mustache Mountain. Speedball Mountain. For the kids.
Thanks for breaking that down because I wouldn't have gotten it.
But then we get next week, we get the challenge laid out. Trent Seven wants Macklin in a match, which he accepts. Then we get some knockouts action. Dani Luna with Jody in her corner against one half of the former champs, Killer Kelly, with Masha in her corner. What'd you think of this one, Alicia?
I loved it. I always coming into these matches, I'm like, I don't know who I want to win because I want everybody to win because in a perfect world, all my favorite teams would win. But that's not the case. And it was good and it led to something even more chaotic, which I really dug. And yeah.
Yeah, no, so it's interesting because obviously with Dani getting the win here, we know there was a lot of shenanigans afterward, attacking,
of course,
and then obviously Decay making the save. But now that Dani's got that win over them, obviously that kind of puts them in line, depending on what happens in that Knockouts tag title match and no surrender. So I think you're looking at the pecking order right now with probably the newest team in the division there of Dani and Jody. They're probably number one contenders after that match.
I'm going to call it the Battle of Hot Topic because it's the industrial tech girls versus the goth girls versus the punk girls.
Oh, it's Hot Topic everywhere.
It's vintage Hot Topic when they used to cater to all forms of alternative and not Disney.
And not Disney. There you go. So now this is an interesting one. Main event time. And stipulation, everyone banned from ringside. So Moose versus Kushida. So obviously no members of the system, no Alex Shelley.
No time gun machine.
Yeah,
weapons.
None of that. So, but a good match, very, very good match. Moose and Kushida, two of the better workers. And Kushida, he looked like he might be able to pull off the upset at times, but then at the end, I think the pure power of
the size game got the best of them.
Man. Yeah, it's tough to keep going in a match like that. So he does get the win, but then the system obviously comes out because now the match is over, band's over. So, but then of course, what they start doing, they start kicking Kushida Wise down. So then you get everybody coming out. You get Shelley. You get everybody. And then obviously leading, we know the main event. No surrender rules with the towel. So a good lead into it.
Yeah, it leaves a good cliffhanger heading into it.
So, no, obviously we still have one more show. We have to go home next week, but they did a pretty good job of establishing that main event.
The hype going into it for sure. Well, it's like ever since they've done this comeback with the TNA name, I feel like the shows have been really solid and well put together that it's like, I feel like I blinked tonight and the show is basically over. And
that's, I think, always the testament to good
yes.
TNA. When it feels
you're invested, and so it just goes by really quick. Like you're actually at a show.
Yeah, if it dragged, and that's how I look at all of wrestling, really. Like that's why I'm such a big TNA Impact fan, because for the most part, now it's not all the time. There's shows, and I think that's the shows you're like, maybe something didn't go right, maybe something's not working, and that's when they don't feel like they move. It's like a good movie. Like you can see a 3-hour movie and it not feel like 3 hours. That means they did a pretty good job. If it feels like a 4-hour movie and it was only 2 hours, that's not probably a good movie. You're probably not enjoying yourself. So, I thought tonight was a very good episode. The go home, my guess is, once again, that's going to try to top it because you're going into a live pay-per-view. So I think we got a lot going on going in the next week. So
gonna be busy.
Yeah, it's going to be busy, and it's going to be busy here on TNI next week because we got the legend David Penzer and the exclusive footage after Final Resolution with David Penzer being honored by the Impact roster. So definitely come here, check it out. We'll be promoting it during the week, so definitely join us as we do our own go home for No Surrender. I'll probably be via location for the show next week. So definitely be checking out from a yet to be named hotel, i.e. who's the cheapest.
Parts unknown.
Parts unknown.
Parts unknown.
I live in parts unknown.
Same.
So that will be next Thursday. But that pretty much puts a cap on this episode, the February 15th edition of Impact on Access TV and the YouTube Ultimate Insiders. Once again, thanks to our members. Thanks everyone that joined us tonight. Thanks for the bits. And remember, if you didn't, like, subscribe, follow, ring that bell for notifications. Make sure, tune in. We got Thursday, so we'll see if we put out anything over the weekend. We might. And talking to Jay, so there might be something for our members. Stay tuned for that. But then if not, we will be seeing you next week. If you missed it yesterday, TNI UK had their show. Definitely go check that out if you haven't seen it. Support Bison and Steve and the boy. Well, Bison, Joe, and the gang over there. But once again, thanks everybody for joining. Thanks for Alicia. Thanks for J-Bone, who's really in part unknown. It sounds like the Bone Man had some technical difficulties, but I'm sure he'll be back in no time, and we'll be psyched to see everyone. So once again, thanks everybody for joining us, and we will see you next Thursday.
Night.